Hello, and welcome to another episode of Big Brown and Hairy. I am Bobby Rayman, and this is...
And I am Tuffy.
I am Tuffy, brilliant. The joke again. Yes, back for another episode 21. Look at us go. Yeah, lots of things happening in the sport world. As we saw Mr. Tyson Fury absolutely demolishing Dillian White. Do you want to come into shot a little bit more? Sorry.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, can you not see? Sorry. See this amateur hour here. I will just sort out our own vision. There we go. Amateur as ever. Back with the Tyson Fury fight. I mean, I think this is the first fight he's had since lockdown, isn't it? Am I right in thinking that? Other than Deontay, it's the first fight he's had since. Like a different fight since like Deontay's.
Oh right, yes it is. Yeah. Because the Deontay fights were all 1, 2, 3. There was nothing in between.
So Dillian being fresh blood, but it was a demolition job.
And from what I heard, I did manage to see it, but certainly what I heard that it was a little bit one-sided, which surprised me. I didn't think it'd be as one-sided as what I've heard.
As predicted, let's just say, if you watched last week's episode or listened to it, I did predict it. I was 2 rounds too late, but I did say KO.
Probably one of the first predictions that you've actually got right.
Yeah. I will take that. I will take that. Shit with football, but it's.
I
play with my heart.
I think back to Euro 2020 and the plethora of predictions that you.
I can't wait for the World Cup predictions this year.
Yeah. Qatar's going to win it.
I'm going to say it. England aren't going to win it. I'm going the opposite way. Can you see what I'm doing?
I can see what you do, yeah.
But no, back to Tyson Fury. I think that was a stunning performance. The jab was amazing. The reach obviously played, for someone that technically gifted. Amazing. His mindset, amazing. Not a nerve in sight. His entrance was awesome, coming out to a mix of songs, and then him singing at the end after the KO.
Oh yeah, he does all that singing.
I love it.
Himself,
That's stupid. It's cringe. I love it. It's just.
It is
so cringe. But fair play to him, and an advocate for mental health and all that sort of stuff, and showing you can do anything. I love that he's a fan favorite now because previously, before his, he's obviously having issues where he would say things in the press for clout. Doesn't need to do anymore. It's just all about his talent and triggering David Hay. David Hay, what a knobhead. Another one is Derek Chisora also said, "I bet my house that Dillian White knocks out Tyson Fury. I bet my house." And in the press conference afterwards, Tyson Fury said, "Well, looks like Derek Chisora's homeless." He goes, but, big boy, you can come and live next door to me. I've got a house there as well. So he's taking the piss. But the amount of hate that you see...
Well, Derek Chisora has to say that, really, doesn't he? Because he got schooled by Dillian White a couple of times, didn't he?
It's...
So he has to say that, just for his own pride.
Yeah. But haven't Tyson Fury and Derek Chisora fought?
I think they fought once, yeah.
Or twice?
I can't remember. I thought
that was a closer fight than you'd think.
But that was pre.
Yeah, but it was pre.
That was on the lead.
That
was on the lead up to the Vladimir Klitschko flight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Flight. Vladimir Klitschko fight.
That's easy for you to say. Yeah. You're doing tongue twisters. But no, for me, as I'm a Tyson Fury fan.
No, same here. He's an entirely different fighter from the pre-blip.
Yes.
An entirely different fighter.
Yeah.
He's a completely different animal now.
Honestly, stunning. So a good night for British boxing anyway. He did play his part. Nice little pay packet.
Part of me thinks that fight, 94,000 people, the biggest fight in British boxing history.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks that fight, I wouldn't surprise me if some of those people went home a bit shortchanged because it was so one-sided. You want to see an absolute tear up when it's.
Yeah. The undercard was dog shit. I mean, that was awful. Tommy Fury was on it.
Yeah, you mentioned
dog shit performance.
You mentioned
dog shit performance, and then he has the audacity to call out Jake Paul. I'm sorry, Jake Paul is picking out his opponents very, being very astute with it, picking old fighters that are too small for him, and knocking them out. Now, if Tommy wants to impress and try and get that big payday, which it would be, you've got to be knocking out people. Can't be getting big fights on points, especially at the start. If you're a power puncher.
Yeah.
And Tommy, unfortunately, has just had a plethora of bad publicity, including his missus, who I know why he can't perform is because there's only 24 hours in a day, and obviously in 24 hours Tommy can't improve as a bloody boxer. Maybe he should talk to his missus.
It is. I'm not going to. I'm not going to sort of, because they're doing. He's doing something that I'd never be able to do.
No, but you can't talk that much shit afterwards after that performance. He's got to have that much self-awareness.
Yeah.
If you want to go and challenge that, then put on a performance. Don't be this. Yeah, fair play. He knocked him down. Okay.
I'm thinking that how is it in that boxing family? How is it that he can be of such a lower standard compared to? I don't know, but I think he has got the dog in him, but he's just not come out. He's just maybe stage fright. That's nothing. The mental capacity to come out. Absolutely. To put on a performance in front of all those people, it's absolutely.
And
I completely. Not just in boxing, anything. Even in theatre. It's about putting your mind in at a certain state where you everything else is just filtered out. Absolutely everything else is filtered out.
I agree with you, but it's just you can't be talking shit afterwards. If you put on a performance, then talk your game.
Maybe he felt obligated because it was a win, and if he doesn't say anything about Jake Paul,
that's true.
If he doesn't say anything because of the all the hype that went beforehand, and of course he pulled out of the fight that was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
maybe he felt obligated to keep that conversation alive.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
It's just it just didn't come across well, in my opinion. But that is what it is. He's trying to make money. Fair play to him. Do
you think he's cut out as a boxer?
No.
Do you think that's?
I think I hope he does well. He's another British fighter. I'm not hating on him, but just you can't help but compare him to his family.
Yeah.
And he's nowhere near. But he might be. But I feel like if he gets beaten, he might give up. I think that's the thing. And look, it's a difficult task to come after arguably one of the greatest boxers ever. He's in the conversation. I know I'm going to get hate for it, but he's in the conversation for GOAT.
I don't think you will. You would get hate for it. I think I would. I don't think you will, because it's pretty clear cut that he's
up there with Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, whoever the lineal heavyweight Klitschko's.
He's up there. Foreman. Ali, Tyson, Holyfield, Lewis. Sorry, all of those. Yes. All of those names.
I think he surpasses Lewis and Holyfield and all those. I think he broke America as well, which is a tough thing for a British fighter. He's in there with Mike Tyson, as in Mike Tyson, people say he's not the GOAT, but his build-up was fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the latter half of his career. Arguably, then Tyson Fury's better because he hasn't lost. Now, you look at Muhammad Ali, the way he broke down the sport, he was a character. He sold fights through his actions and his words.
Yes.
Tyson's got that.
Yeah.
And he backs up the ability with it. So when you look at it that way, when you weigh up the entertainment value and the actual fighting capability, because when we talk about the GOAT status, you only think about fighting capability. But if you combine the entertainment as well, you've got to say Tyson Fury is arguably. I think he is.
What, the greatest?
I think.
You think he's the greatest?
I think so.
I think that's where you might get a bit of.
I'm going to get shit for it.
You might get a little bit of disagreement.
But that's my personal opinion. I think he's an anomaly. He's weird. Name another heavyweight that, like Muhammad Ali, was light on his feet.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury's light on his feet. Muhammad Ali didn't have as much power, as the heavyweights. What he did have is speed. Tyson Fury's got power. Because he's massive.
Mm.
I mean, we're lucky to have him during our era here, in our lifetime.
All right, then.
I don't think there's another boxer like him.
Okay, Prime Fury versus the Prime Ali. Who wins it? Who wins?
I don't know. I don't know. There's Prime, even Prime Tyson versus Prime Tyson Fury. Prime Lewis versus Prime Fury.
That's an intriguing.
Intriguing. I have no clue.
That one's an intriguing one.
I think he beats Holyfield.
Yeah.
I think he beats Foreman. He's just got better feet. He's quicker.
Mm.
Ali would be interesting because they're both light on their feet. It's a clash of styles.
Yeah.
Lewis would be. Well, Lewis is beatable. Look, Hassan Rahman did it.
Yeah. That was a lack of concentration. That was.
Yeah, he would be up for
it.
He
was complacent there. I think Lewis. The thing about Lewis is that he's durable.
Yeah.
He's.
Well, we're talking with the best of the best. Tyson Fury, for me, he's up there at the top. Because
he's certainly
because of the entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm combining that Mike Tyson wasn't entertaining as in his words. He is afterwards nowadays, but during his fight, he's all about fighting.
Yeah.
Now I'm combining both of those things that you have to have. You have to sell your fights, and you have to be, he backs up what he says.
Yeah.
The fact that Tyson Fury hasn't lost is insane.
Yeah.
And people say, he's fought Klitschko. He's fought arguably the weirdest fighter in the whole of the heavyweight division ever, because Wilder doesn't make sense. Now, this is my theory anyway, and this could be wrong. When you fight a traditional boxer, you're used to a traditional boxing style. Wilder's weird. It doesn't make sense. Hence why he's probably the most difficult boxer to study.
Wilder, I don't really think much of Wilder.
No, I disagree. No, his power. You cannot hit and knock out that many people in a division by being. He doesn't need the technique. He just knocks people out. That is the weirdest combination ever. Because he is another anomaly. Like in the power, I think Wilder beats Joshua. I really do. I think he knocks him out brutally. I think that's another fight that needs to be made next. If Usyk and Joshua doesn't happen, Joshua versus Wilder would sell out a stadium.
I think it would sell out because of
Joshua gets battered.
I think it would sell out because of the the history in their negotiations. I think it would sell out.
Yeah.
But I don't think Wilder beats Joshua. I think Joshua's defense is too good.
I disagree.
And I think.
You just think he's a bit more of a technical boxer, and he's got power as well. Joshua.
That as well.
For me, Wilder's so weird to fight. Look, Tyson is the best at evading punches.
Yeah.
And even he got knocked down 3 times over 3 fights. 3 times over 3 fights.
Yeah.
That just shows the durability of his chin.
I think
Joshua's not staying out of those punches.
But I think the thing with Wilder and Joshua, I think.
No, I'm having to say. No. My opinion is that I think Joshua gets knocked out badly.
No.
That's why I want to see it.
I think the brutal nature of the losses that Wilder has tasted with Fury. I mean, you've not heard anything from him since. Nothing.
No.
You've heard nothing. He's like somewhere with his tail between his legs, somewhere in Alabama with his tail between his legs.
I disagree.
I think he's completely fallen off the face of the earth. I think
he's going to have another tune-up fight when he comes back. A tune-up, maybe. I hope he doesn't. I hope he goes straight for Joshua. That would be the fight to make right now. If Usyk's out and Fury's not fighting anymore, please, someone. Get the boxing fans excited. Joshua versus Wilder would be insane.
Wilder.
The reason why it won't happen is because Joshua wants his rematch clause with Usyk.
He might be waiting a very long time for that.
Unless Usyk drops the titles, which he might do.
He might have to.
Or there might be an interim title.
If he's involved in what's going on over in Ukraine,
which is sad, and you've got to respect him for it. I'm not shitting on Usyk at all.
No.
I'd like to see Usyk Joshua again. But for me, Joshua versus Wilder, just for that knockout potential. I don't know. Years ago, before I saw Joshua have his little dip.
Yeah,
I would say Joshua all day. If it's the Joshua after the Klitschko fight, Joshua beats Wilder. But after seeing Wilder's, even to the point of Wilder versus Fury 2, I thought Joshua would win. But watching Wilder perform in the third fight and still stand up on, go out on his shield, the way he stood there and still knocked down Fury twice, you can't take that. Joshua's not getting up from those punches. He got knocked out by bloody Ruiz.
Yeah, but Ruiz isn't really a soft puncher though. He's
known to be the hardest puncher of them all. That's my point. That's why I think if he connects, and he will connect.
I can't see it.
The only way he wins is on points and keeps him evading him. Like what Fury did in the first fight, which he won. They didn't draw. He won that fight, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Up until that knockdown, he was. Yeah, it was. I mean, even from what I heard in like commentary, post commentary and articles that have been written, even Wilder's camp acknowledged up until the. Yeah,
but then the thing is, the annoying thing about Wilder is the way he talks doesn't do him any justice to be liked. But I'm just talking from what I think would happen if they clashed. Right,
I mean, the way he talks.
I didn't like the thing where he used excuses. I don't like, as fans, we don't like excuses, and the way he's just using that as like a get out clause. It's not.
To be honest with you, the simple fact that whenever he appears, he goes, yeah, it's really that is so annoying.
But his story, taking away that character, his story is amazing as well. What he did for his daughter, how he got into amazing. But whoever's advising him to do that is just nonsense. Yeah. You're not going to be Fury. You're not going to be as charismatic. If you're not charismatic, do something else. Stand out. But I'm not having a go at that. I'm talking about the fight. I on recent form, this is what I'm going off. I feel like Joshua's head would leave Wembley Stadium.
Joshua's what, sorry?
Head would leave Wembley Stadium and get
against Wilder. Honestly, I think Joshua Fury wins. Joshua
Fury wins everyone.
Yeah, Joshua Wilder. I think Joshua wins that one. I don't think Wilder wins that.
That's why I want to see it.
I don't think Wilder wins because I think there's more of a because I think Joshua hits harder than Fury.
Yeah.
I think those knockdowns that Wilder got up from with Fury, I don't think he gets up from a knockdown from.
Possibly, you're looking at that way.
Joshua. Joshua's
but it goes both ways. That's why it's such an intriguing fight to me.
Yeah.
It's we're disagreeing here, but let us know what you think in the comments. I mean, I'd love to see that fight next, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be Usyk at some point, or whatever happens to the boxing world. We haven't got. If Fury's out of the picture in the heavyweight division, it does look boring. I mean, he is entertaining. He's one of the best. But if this Ngannou thing happens, that's an interesting fight. Apparently, the rumor is he's going to be fighting in the WWE again. In this the UK.
Sorry. Fighting
wrestling. Well, actually, the last thing he actually did connect with Braun Strowman in Saudi Arabia. They must have just said, "Hit me," and he did. That would be intriguing. Apparently, the rumor is Drew McIntyre. So, as a wrestling fan, I'm interested.
Wow!
In the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, and that first pay-per-view since 1992. In Wembley Stadium, SummerSlam.
Wow!
So that's fun. So fingers crossed, I get some tickets. Should we move on? Should we move on to F1? Talk about some.
We're talking about F1, are we?
Why not? The race is going on right now, isn't it? But Hamilton's having a shot.
Emilia Romagna.
Yes. Good cheese place, apparently. Lewis Hamilton is doing horrendously. And he's throwing his toys out the pram.
Let's see what's going on at the moment. The live reporting. So Verstappen is still leading. In fact, it's a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment after 49 laps.
How many laps are there?
63.
So 2/3 through.
Yeah, so the top 10 at the moment. My camera's gone.
My camera's gone. There you go. Brilliant. This is amateur.
Let's keep this going. Keep this going. So the top 10 at the moment. Verstappen ahead of Perez, then Leclerc, then Lando Norris. George Russell is 5th. Now keep that in your mind because that's going to be quite significant. Then comes Bottas, then Vettel. Then Kevin Magnussen, then Yuki Tsunoda, and finally the top 10, rounding up the top 10 is Lance Stroll. So George Russell is 5th.
Yeah.
He's consolidated 5th position.
Yeah.
And where is Lewis Hamilton currently?
He was 14th the last time I checked.
Something like that. Yeah, 14th. There's been no reports since. He's behind Pierre Gasly. Yes. About 15 minutes ago, Max Verstappen lapped Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, that's a bit funny. Oh, that's not funny at all. Oh no, all the Lewis Hamilton fans are going to get triggered. Have you got any message for the Lewis Hamilton fans that you argue with constantly online? If you want to look straight down your camera and give them a message.
I'll give you message. This is his last season.
Oh!
This is last season. I'm calling it. If the season continues like this, I don't think he has the stomach to do this again.
So you're
next
calling
season.
out he's calling out Hamilton fans.
Lewis Hamilton. This is his last season.
Wow, controversial.
Based on how things have gone so far,
wow,
and based on how well George Russell. I mean, George Russell is 5th at the moment. He's getting points.
And Lewis Hamilton is 14th. The same car, right?
The same car, and we're talking about a 7-time world champion here. We're talking about people saying that he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, talking about greatest of all time, yeah.
Yeah. This guy is supposed to be the greatest of all time. And yet he's... I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the fact that the Mercedes car is a bit of a pig at the moment. But you can only
compare it to the other car.
You can only compare him to his teammate because the first person you have to beat is your own teammate. And when you're 14th and your teammate is 5th, bringing in points, bringing home the bacon.
Is he number 2 driver?
And I'm telling you, results. When the results come in, further down the line in terms of the in the season, Mercedes will they'll increasingly start to back Russell and sideline.
I think they have to.
They would have to because the team is bigger than one driver.
That's the way it is, It's.
But I'm telling you, unless Hamilton goes back to that pre-Mercedes, one championship winning driver with McLaren, and he's able to hustle that car like he used to do with the McLaren.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is his last season. I can't see this. I can't see him doing a Fernando Alonso and Alonso coming back season after season after season.
No,
hustling his car to 4th, 5th, 6th position.
He can't be bothered.
Maybe
he'll have a breakaway and come back. I think that could happen. A bit like Alonso and Raikkonen, where they miss the sport, where you miss him. I think they might do that rubbish.
I don't think he does that.
Do you not?
I think if he goes, he goes. I don't think he. I can't even see him going into other sort of disciplines, other formula, like Alonso did with IndyCar and the Dakar Rally, and Raikkonen did with rallying. I can't even see him doing anything like that.
Different, no, because he's too weird, isn't he?
I think he.
What have I done there?
I think he goes. It tries to do something with his burgeoning rap career.
I thought you were going to say something else. No, it's
straight down the camera.
It's a British driver.
This season, he's done. After this season, he's done.
Wow, controversial.
There's a prediction.
That is a prediction. Yeah. I mean, I thought I was ballsy with saying Fury is the greatest.
Don't even be surprised if he cuts it. If he cuts his losses mid-season.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Don't even be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me. I think it's remote of that happening. I think it's remote, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Interesting.
But it wouldn't surprise me because he's so emotionally driven.
Driven. Right. Talking about emotionally driven, Amber Heard. Did you like that transition then?
I mean, it's a transition, if that's what you want to call it.
Hey, don't diss my presentation skills. Amber Heard, I am absolutely transfixed with this trial. I didn't think I was, like from last episode. I paid attention to it a little bit, but for some reason on my TikTok, when you're looking through TikTok or any social media, you start watching these, and I hate Amber Heard. It's becoming more and more obvious how much of a controlling, conniving little witch she is.
I think we need to.
No, I think we need to.
No, I think we do. I think we need to frame this in the sense that we haven't yet heard
justice for Johnny.
We've not heard her testimony.
We've heard enough of the voice things.
And, we've heard Johnny testifying. His cross-examination and re-questioning and things like that. So we've heard all of that.
That's fine. I've still forged my opinion along with the internet. You can just tell, and it's just. And the way she's been acting.
Don't get me wrong.
And then there's one bit the camera's caught her where she let this this no emotional face, and then you saw her get a bit frustrated when she did that on the table. It came up, and she thought the cameras are off, and they were still running, and they zoomed into her. I went, because they watch everything, don't they? They tell you to be, a certain way. Johnny's being himself. You can tell, and I've just got just so involved with watching these clips now. Man, oh man!
I don't know. I
fair play for him to stand up. Because he doesn't need to, as a male, it's in society almost deemed as belittling, isn't it? You're getting beaten up by a woman or whatever. Fair play to him for standing. Look at it from that point of view. You might be wrong or whatever. For him to stand up like that is sensational. And there was this stuff she was saying to him. She defecated on his side of the bed and tried to blame the dogs. And he was going, we have little dogs. They can't create human-sized poos. This woman is mental. I think
don't get me wrong. When you talk about the cameras in there, I think body language is a massive giveaway to, particularly when people aren't looking at you. And you in your mind you're thinking nobody's looking at me. I'm just body language is a massive giveaway to different things. There are parts of it where she does come across a little bit sort of Heather Mills.
I think she's even more crazy than Heather Mills.
And
she's got two legs.
There are parts of it where she does. I mean, Heather Mills. I remember that divorce trial with Sir Paul McCartney. I remember that. I don't know if you've ever read the. I didn't know. You should.
Is it crazy?
Read the when the judge's final statements.
Yeah.
Read that.
Is it good?
It's absolute.
Did he use the term "she doesn't have a leg to stand on"? 2 leg jokes there.
It's that his final judgment. Shut up. His final judgment and his final statements are absolute box office. Right. Top draw for a British judge.
Oh wow, okay.
Because no fanfare or anything like that. But what he was saying and the impact of what he was saying and what he said is absolute box office.
Nice. All right, I'll have to.
So you've got to read that. I
haven't, but I'll have to have a look.
You've got to read that, but
there
are
feel like
times
something similar is going to happen here because it's just the evidence is overwhelming, and this is a jury.
But you've only heard one side of the evidence.
There's enough. I've listened to the way her lawyers are awful, or whoever's doing the questioning. Oh my God, he repeated the same thing 5 times. He just didn't know what to say. He was stumbling on his words. And Johnny's like, for the 3rd time. Yes. They're trying to paint him in a certain way, but she's not paying them enough. I mean, you look at...
It's Johnny's money paying for it, really.
Ironically, and you can just tell. I mean, it's so overwhelmingly obvious. Yeah, and I'm sure he's. You can tell. I believe him because he's admitting to things that you do in reaction in relationships. He's got no problems about it. He's talked about his addiction, which is incredible. He talked about, pills and stuff like that, why he's taking it. They made him listen to the tape where he didn't want to be here anymore and commit suicide and all that sort of stuff. How traumatic is that? This book, the crazy girl, and other people are pointing out, this is how mental she is. You know what? He's a dress icon. The way he dresses, he's got a style. And she tried to say, you shouldn't be a dress icon. You dress awful and all that stuff. Every day he's gone into court. The day after, she's copied his outfit. How fucked up is that?
I didn't notice.
Loads of people noticing. He had to be on his tie. Next day, she's got to be on his tie. She's like trying to mentally. It's obvious what she's doing. It's like they're trying to go, I'm the same as you. That type of bollocks. Crazy girl. She's mental. You can see in her eyes that she's just.
I'm going to.
No, I will. You can. I will take the hit on this. She is a witch.
I'm not saying
her and Jada Pinkett Smith need to be friends.
I'm not gonna sort of. I'm intrigued more about the trial itself. I'd like to hear her side.
I can't wait for this.
I'd like to hear her side.
She's building up to the performance of her life. And like her career, she's going to fuck this up because she's a shit actress. And she's going to really show herself here. It's going to be awful. They've already fucked up because they said the makeup palette after Johnny hit her. Johnny hit her. He hasn't hit her. Her sister hit her and tried to get him because he left because he said, I've had enough.
Right.
So her sister hit her on purpose because he was paying for her sister, her friends and everything to stay in his penthouse suite for free. And when he goes, they're obviously going to lose all that, aren't they? So then to control, she got her sister to punch her. And then the makeup palette that she used to cover her thingy, the makeup company's come out. Right, you ready for this? So the day after she was on James Corden's Late Late Show.
Right.
No marks of anything, of hitting or anything. And she said the makeup covered, did a wonderful job of covering this particular palette.
Right.
And she said this happened after, the relation, whatever, during, I think it was 2016, an appearance. That's the last time, after they split up. 2016, a long ass time ago. Bloody hell. The manufacturer came out, that the palette came out, and I'm not sure of the month, but I think it was March 2017. So she's been caught in a lie about lying about the palette already. So from the original case in London, they fucked up. So the main thing about them hitting...
So there's potentially even a possibility of
perverting the court of justice, that sort of thing.
Well, there's a possibility of it because he's been denied grounds of appeal from the UK court judgment, so you can't appeal that.
Yeah.
However, with this information now coming out to say that there's potential...
Yeah, so after this court, there's ramifications, isn't there, to that previous, where the appeal process might open again. I'm assuming it will, because he wants to clear his name. But I think if the defamation thing comes, I'm pretty confident he's going to get, what justice will prevail. I'm happy that it's a jury, because like everyone, you've got to be a dumbass to not to see this. I mean, it's the most obvious thing I've ever seen. The way this witch... And it's not just him. It's been known in the industry. And as you know, I'm in the TV industry, film industry. You hear rumours all the time. Now, they're just hearsay. But all those things that he's saying, I've heard before. Not the crazy stuff like her shitting on the bed and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, right, okay. And these are rumours from other people that are not, linked to the case. These are years ago that was heard. But she's one of the type of woman that will step on anybody to get to where she wants, to get success. And it's just unfortunate that Johnny was in the way. Because he is, and you can see by all of his career, he's never had anybody's never said a bad word about him. And all of a sudden he's a hits piece. Shut up. Come on now. It's just, Amber's just ruined her career, and she's gone so far with this, she hasn't quite realised how messed up what she's, what the ramifications of this are going to be, because she portrayed herself as this victim of this rally about the Me Too movement. She was at the forefront doing speeches and nonsense and all this stuff, using that to heighten this. She's ruined her career. No one was going to touch her in Hollywood. No one ever going to touch her. Johnny will be fine. He'll be fine. I'll tell you, Fantastic Beasts, they took him off, didn't they? He will come back to that. Mark my words. he will come back to a bunch of stuff. He'll be fine. He hasn't worked in the last 2-3 years, right?
Something like that, yeah.
He will be back working. He will be fine. Because you can tell he's being honest and he's just telling his story for the first time. Where she always has been trying to say her story. And you can just tell by her reaction. Her facial expressions are just, from a body language point of view and watching these body language things as well. It's insane that, this is happening a lot as well, what's happening to Johnny. So I'm glad he's brought it to such a public thing, because a lot of guys wouldn't combat it because nobody would believe them. I mean, and it needs to go both ways, because there are people who do twist the truth.
No, absolutely.
Advantage. So
absolutely.
I'm hoping justice prevails, and his friend.
Well, justice can only prevail once you hear her side of the story as well.
Yes. I think she's here talking. I can't wait to hear this nonsense, because she's just talking crap. She's been caught out already. So I just dislike her.
If it is the case that her testimony is completely, it's not particularly good. I can't really find the words, but let's just say it's not particularly good testimony. Then it's down to his lawyers to pick apart that.
I think his lawyers
to pick that apart and and catch her out in different.
Her lawyers are so awful, like really bad. Like going on that document. Is that your name in the divorce documentation? Is that your signature there? He goes, yes. So in that document that you see in front of you, point there. Is that your signature there? And he goes, yes. So in the document over there on section whatever, is that your signature? He goes, for the third time, yes. And then he asks again, is it his signature? This is what they're doing, just absolutely. And they're trying to interrupt him and trying to, playing all the games, but everyone can see through it. Those tactics only happen when you've got something to hide. And those, and his, you see the body language on both sides. His side, he's very relaxed.
Listen, I'm not looking at the. I'm not saying that I believe one or believe the other or anything like that. I'm just keeping an open mind.
Oh yeah, that's
because keeping an open mind, because it's important to hear both sides.
Yes, but I'm just saying from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Just looking at the body language and that thing that she let loose, that little bit of nook, and the way she looked at him, and the guy went like, and I'm like, oh my God, you're so stupid. You're so stupid. Just do what you're doing, just no emotion at all. But she let it out, and that was the key moment for me, where he was like, you can tell by things he was doing, just natural. He's talking in his style, doing what he did, talk to them, give piece of paper, take water, whatever, and he's just relaxed. He's smiling. And when you smile like that, you've got nothing. Yeah. You can just tell he's letting this go. It's almost cathartic that he's getting this out of his system, which he wasn't allowed to do before. He's getting all this out. It's almost like therapy. And you can tell in his face, you can just tell. He looks healthier after he said it. Another thing is, when he came into the court first time, for some reason they timed the cars where she was he didn't want to see it. Like, can I go in the court, please? Can I go? He kept on repeating because she put her on edge. And the cameras only picked it up outside. There was no cameras to be seen there. But the sound picked it up, what you said.
This was on the entrance.
Outside when the first day.
Right, okay.
He's like, please can go in, please go in. But her car was coming, he didn't want to see her. Now, is that a person normal or is that a person of abuse? Like a person who's been abused. Little things. And only cameras, there was no cameras there to be seen. It's just been picked up. He said it very quietly. Like, can you go in? Can you go in?
Okay.
Whereas the opposite is she's been copying his outfits. She's staring at him like, doing weird stuff. Come on now. Whoever's advised her is just dumb. But anyway, it's an enthralling case to watch. I mean, it is free drama, real drama content. You can watch online. They live stream it every day. Isn't it crazy that Ukraine's just been tossed to the side and we've just got live streams of Johnny Depp and Amber?
It does sort of.
But I think
it does sort of highlight humanity's priorities.
True, but I do think it's important because for males to express that they can get abused too.
Yeah.
But just tossing aside Ukraine, like America's a different gravy, man.
It does very much show what humanity is, particularly humanity in America.
Yes.
What the priorities are.
Humanity in the UK, talking of that, Boris Johnson. I mean, we talk about him weekly. The Tories are just mental, aren't they? I think you brought this story earlier.
Just before I came out to come here, I read something online. The Tory MPs are accusing Angela Rayner, the deputy leader of the Labour Party, of doing a Sharon Stone basic instinct style of sort of behaving in the Commons to
crossing
try
and
crossing and uncrossing her legs repeatedly to try and distract Boris Johnson.
Because apparently a grown man looks at vagina. Why is he looking at a vagina anyway?
I don't think these Tory MPs have thought this out, because if any of that is true,
then isn't that,
what does that say about Boris Johnson?
He's a pervert, and that he's
distracted by.
But if they brought this up, are they not admitting to? Isn't this kind of sexual misconduct or putting them on pressure? You know, like in an office. If you brought that up, would that not be? It would misconduct.
Well, no, because not really, because the accusation is that she's doing something to try and distract.
You shouldn't be looking up that, but that's putting pressure. No, I think in a workplace that would work negatively for the male.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think this is any different, except this has been done in the press. So you're trying to belittle her and put that pressure on her. Weirdly, so what she. It's very. I think you're right. I think it's backfired.
Well, what does that say about him? If any of that is true,
he's only had 10 kids.
Is it 10 now? Is it?
Sorry, I was so far off.
What's the total?
How many kids has Boris had?
What's the tally chart saying?
How many children does Boris Johnson have? It comes up first. 7
that he knows of.
Including Laura.
That he knows of, that we know of.
Wow.
But yeah,
how can that buffoon create that much offspring?
Yeah, he spent his life brushing his hair with a balloon.
Well, I thought he'd be spent.
Spent his life brushing his hair with a balloon. How on earth does he? It's power. It attracts people of a certain inclination, doesn't it? I guess. But yeah. If all of that is true, that she is doing that, and it is distracted, what does that say about him
and the party? I mean, it's just disgusting. It's just distraction tactics. They don't care. They will literally run this country through the gutter just to save their own backs. They do not care. They will they're so dumb they inadvertently screwed themselves. It is funny.
Yeah.
But I mean...
But at the same time, it's quite insulting and misogynistic towards how
sexist is it?
Yeah, it's awful.
It's crazy.
Awful.
I mean, it's like saying, oh, I can't concentrate or in the comments because his eyes are so dreamy. You wouldn't hear that happen, would you?
No.
I mean,
we're going back to school classroom stuff here.
Very, very childish classroom behaviour, and that's what our government is. I mean, crazy. I mean, there's enough things happening in the world right now for them to try and...
Yeah. But to Boris Johnson's credit, you can't credit him for much, but to his credit for this, he has come out and defended her. And
of course he is. He's trying to get in her pants. He's like, let's be honest, I did like her.
I'm not going to. But what he said is, he said, that he disagrees with Angela Rayner on the majority of issues, but as a parliamentarian, he respects her.
He had to say that. Because but the thing is, his own party's trying to screw him over here as well. I think, who do we think? Who do you think from the party it would be? I reckon it's Gov, the dirty bastard.
Michael Gove.
Or is it Mog?
I don't know.
Rishi's too classy for that.
I don't think Jacob Rees-Mogg is. I think he's too far in. He's too much in the Boris camp. He is.
Well, I told you what he said the other day when he was walking home in his Edwardian outfit with his briefcase, and he got caught by some news reporters with the camera, and they asked him about the fining, the bullshit fines that the Conservative Party members have got, And he said, "Oh, I don't see that Boris broke any rules, but it's more like the DRS system in cricket, where you do a review afterwards." Shut up, Reese. Mog. Yeah, twat.
And that's not the only one that he's come out with recently. The other one was he said something about Brexit and the difficulties, and he said, "Well, you know what? We wouldn't have been in the position of looking at the difficulties of Brexit had we remained in the EU." No shit, Jacob. No shit.
He did not say that.
He said that. He said that. Well, words to that effect.
No. That's
because you know these people were talking. You know, all these people were talking about the alleged red tape the EU is now introducing and things like that. And Jacob Rees-Mogg said, "Well, you know what? We wouldn't have been in the position to find out and deal with and experience all of this had we remained in the EU." Well, no shit.
I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah.
I'm dumbfounded. That's insane.
I'm just trying to find the
in Punjabi, there's a word called "pernchod." You might hear Paul Chowdhury say it a lot, the comedian. Pernchod. Rees-Mogg is a fucking pernchod. He probably is as well, you know. It literally translates to sister fucker. It probably is. Are you checking out the internet? Well, I'm trying
to find that article.
I can't believe he said that. That's outrageous.
Brexit.
He's worse than Lewis Hamilton.
Difficulties. I'm just doing a quick Google search.
I'm not a Lewis Hamilton hater as much as Tuffy.
I'm just doing a quick Google search. He said quite a few things. Jacob Rees-Mogg, it's the EU's fault fishermen struggle to sell to Europe. And it isn't. It was about. I think it was about what he said about. It was about the red tapes in trade. That he was what he was referring to, and it wasn't that long ago. It was only literally a few days ago that he said this. And you know the alleged sort of red tape and things like that. And it's important to frame this.
Yeah.
That we were all warned about it. Remainers warned Brexiteers about it, but all you heard from Brexiteers was, "We know what we were voting for." Well, this is the shitstorm that you voted for, then, people. But yeah, he said words to that effect. He said, It basically, we wouldn't have been in the position of discovering what these difficulties are had we, if we'd remained in the European Union. Which yeah.
But following this thing that you just told me,
yes,
I feel like this is a smokescreen for something big, and I think I found what the big thing is.
Oh, okay.
I can't show our screen, unfortunately, because our shoddy productions. Haha. But I will read out the national newspaper. National Scotland. The UK government ministers reported over alleged sexual misconduct 7 hours ago. 3 Tory cabinet ministers and 2 Labour shadow cabinet ministers are facing accusations of sexual misconduct. It has emerged. Wow. The Sunday Times says 3 members of Boris Johnson's team and 2 from Keir Starmer's have been reported to a parliamentary watchdog that deals with complaints against MPs.
Okay. So is that cabinet or within the government itself?
Sorry, cabinet ministers.
Oh, all right.
And 2 Labour shadow cabinet ministers.
Oh, so front bench people.
Front benchers. They are among 56 MPs who have been referred to the Independent Complaints and Grievance Scheme, the ICGS, in relation to about 70 separate complaints it reported. The allegations among the 56 range from making sexually inappropriate comments to more serious wrongdoing. the paper said, with at least one complaint believed to involve criminality and an allegation that an MP bribed a member or staff in return for sexual favours.
Oh dear.
The ICGS was set up as an independent process with cross-party backing in 2018 after the so-called Pest Minister scandal, which saw the spotlight shone on sexual harassment in the rooms and corridors of power. Well, it's obvious. Look what they're trying to do. They're trying to use one thing about her pants and trying to distract from this because they knew something big was going to happen. Come on. It's obvious. How many times have the Tories done this? It's consistent within their reign.
Yeah, I'm just
power.
looking it up now. I just find smart 3 Tory ministers and 2 shadow cabinet members.
Which isn't good because it's both of them. Now, because it's cabinet members, they've really got potential to really go crazy. But watch the mainstream not report it. I guarantee you it's not in the BBC, is it?
Let's see. It's in The Guardian.
Oh, it's in The Guardian?
It's in The Guardian, The Independent.
Is it in the BBC?
It's in The Times.
Is it in the BBC? Have they reported on it yet?
The BBC, I can't see anything on the BBC.
Nope. They'll tend to shy away from stuff like this until it goes beyond,
And then they rock up say claiming to be first on the scene.
Yeah, like Sky Sports News.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we'll end this episode on that weird note. But it just shows these people, they are the lowest of the low. They can accuse people of being the scumbags and all this sort of stuff, and look, they won't adhere to their own rules, and now they are caught in another sexual misconduct scandal because they can't keep their hands to themselves because they're old, miserable, middle-aged, rich men who think they've got power and they can touch women if they want to, or do worse.
If people want to, if anybody is oblivious to how the public sentiment towards the Tory party, if they're oblivious to, if there is anybody, living under a rock somewhere, completely oblivious to this, go to Stafford and have a look at what's written on the wall outside Asda.
Oh, I saw this in town. Oh no! What was it? What was it about Tory party? What was it? Do you remember?
I can't remember, but
it's something about Tory party scum. Something Rwanda.
Yeah,
but Rwanda's in capital letters. Like, cool, but why is that spray paint? It's in so it's by Asda. Also, it's painted by where the old Marks and Spencers was in town.
Yes.
So there's 2 places. And I went, welcome to Stafford. But I mean, it's what can we say? I mean, we finished on the podcast.
We were talking about a true blue Tory town in Stafford.
Stafford is a true
blue.
I mean, there was a period of Labour, in the 97 thing.
Cut Stafford open, it bleeds blue.
Yeah, and it gets. I can't believe that still. After Cameron, what he did to the hospital, which is another story. But fuck David Cameron.
You've banged that drum.
No, I'm not. I'm going to say it again. Until it gets into mainstream, I don't care. He's a piece of shit. He lost to David Kidney, so fuck you, David Cameron, you big fucker. But is he any worse than Boris? I mean, they're all as bad as each other.
I think Boris takes it to a different level.
Now,
though.
I guarantee you.
I think David Cameron been in the same position, he would have retired. Sorry, not retired. He would have resigned.
A long
time ago.
He would have, because he cares about his own image. Where Boris doesn't.
Boris brushes his hair with a balloon. He doesn't care about his image.
But it's going to be interesting to see how Keir Starmer deals with these allegations of 2 shadow cabinet ministers. If they go, then the pressure is on Boris to get rid of his. Now, I'm pretty sure Keir Starmer will get rid of his.
Yeah, because he's
straight to the point. And I don't think Boris will get rid of his.
Sorry.
That's right. I don't think Boris will get rid of his. What a world we live in, that these lot in the press try and use this agenda to push whatever they want. Yet they always get caught out with literally their hands in the wrong pants. The dirty bastards. I've got no respect for guys like that.
But I think we also need to remember though.
These are allegations.
There are allegations. We also need to remember though, one of the big reasons why the Tory party is how it is at the moment is because of I have to say it again. It's because of Brexit. and it's because they enjoy the support of people who will allow them to get away with anything, provided Brexit is in place and delivered. And they will happily let go of absolutely everything.
But I guarantee you, Will Smith doing a slap will gain so much press. But this is far worse. But it will not gain the same press. Yes, granted, Will Smith's a name. But isn't that just a shame? All he did was a slap, yes. It still has ramifications to his career, blah, blah, blah. Boris can literally do anything he wants. And his cabinet can do anything they want by the looks of it. Even criminal shit like this. And get away with it. Criminal shit like having parties, breaking his own rules. Get away with it. What's he going to have to do to get out? What is he going to have to commit a murder or something? He's probably done that. If you think about war stuff, he'd go out during COVID if he didn't act fast enough. How many lives? How much blood has he got in his hands? Yeah, that isn't enough.
Absolutely. But like I say, it's these people who hardline ultra Brexiteers who will allow...
Nonsense.
Yeah, they will allow the Tory party and Boris Johnson literally to get away with absolutely anything on the sole proviso that Brexit is in place. And the Tory party know it.
But if this scandal blows up to what it's going to be, I hope it does go on to mainstream television news outlets, how can you come back from that? You need to go. You can't control... Enough is enough. There needs to be a factory reset on this government with a new leader, new cabinet front benches, and a new way to lead this country, because this isn't working.
Nothing's going to surprise me anymore. This is yet another thing that they'll survive. It will. It does.
It depends how unfortunately.
I think it'll depend.
I hope it isn't as bad.
I think it'll depend if one of these people who have been accused or under investigation. I think it'll depend a lot on whether or not one of them is actually Boris Johnson. Because he's technically front bench. Prime Minister, he's a front bencher. He's a member he's the leader of the cabinet.
Yeah.
So he's part of the cabinet.
Yeah.
It could,
I've got my bet. Who have you got your bets on? I've got Michael Gove. Hancock's not there anymore.
No.
He would have hands down pants. But no, he's a bit of a player, isn't he? He gets it. He gets his way. He's a swooner with his jeans, his dad jeans.
He's an awkward kind of person.
Weirdo.
But awkward, yeah.
I've got, and these are merely just playing a game of sweepstakes. I've got Gov, not Rishi Sunak. Rees Mogg. He looks like the type.
Rees Mogg.
Oh, you. Look at you with your skirt's awfully short. It's almost winking at me.
Are we talking about Rees Mogg here, or we're talking about who's that Carry On actor, Kenneth Matron?
Are we talking about Austin Powers there? But no, I hope the allegations aren't true, because it is sad for the wound, because they have to deal with that trauma, and still in 2022 dealing with bullshit like this. But yet again, nothing surprised me with this government. I hope again the reality comes out.
They've had more lives than a cat.
Yeah, but I think that would be enough. Enough is enough. I mean, now I don't think Boris survives that. If it's a front bench, I don't think a cabinet. That's saying cabinet ministers.
Yeah,
that's big. It
is. It is big.
No wonder they put that story about her to try and deflect this. You can see it's open. So we need to counteract that sexual allegation with just, I don't know, try and make a woman feel awkward. Oh, I know. Let's make a woman feel awkward and then get a... I mean, it's not helping your sexual misconduct thing.
But then Boris Johnson is defending her.
But that's what they've purposely done it, though, haven't they? Oh, no, I do care about women. Think about it. Maybe they did it on purpose.
So you're saying he is one of those three?
I'm not saying he's one of the three, but maybe they planted that story in the press, which is a nonsense story. It makes no sense. And then Boris defends it. Looks like he cares about females. And then this story comes out. Do you see what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I understand.
The only saving factor is that there's some Labour guys as well involved in this. That's the thing that's saving his ass. If it was only Tories...
Yeah.
Come on now.
Okay, who do you think from the Labour front bench. Who do
I
you
don't
think?
even know any names. I'll be honest with you. No idea. What's the woman called? The one who was with Michael Portillo. What's her name? The one who always gets bullied.
Oh, Diane Abbott.
Diane Abbott. Corbyn. Ed Miliband, is he still there?
He is. He is. Ed Miliband is still there. He's
David Miliband there, or is he completely
No, he's still over in the States. He's
If there was ever a man to come back and save that Labour government, fuck me. Labour party, sorry, not government.
David Miliband.
He's the perfect in between right and left. Well, slightly more right.
He's a centrist, isn't he?
He's a centre right.
He's very much a Blairite.
Yes,
and I think that's what they're trying to get away from.
But
Blair was a blessing and a curse to that party.
True.
And he wouldn't be as big a curse had he not sanctioned the invasion of Iraq.
Yes. Well, on that happy note, a nice happy episode of Big Brown and Hairy here. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that nonsense. At Big Brown Hairy on all our social media platforms. And at Bobby, BOBBY _ Rayman, RAYMAN for me, and for you, it's
at Cheese Addict 77.
There we go. So, from us, from this weird episode where we've just slagged off the Tory government again and talked about sport.
There's nothing weird about that, is there?
No, it is not.
No.
It's very easy.
Par for the course for us.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Well, we'll hopefully see you next week. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.